Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montevilla Sewing Center, and today we're talking about the Janome AirThread 2000D Serger. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take care of your machine. Now, what you want to start off doing is open your manual to page 52, because there are several pages to doing a complete care of your machine. But the first thing you want to do is clean out lint, and that's something that you can do regularly without having to look at the book. All you need to do, take off the accessory tray and open the doors. Now, when you have the doors open on your machine, with either door open or both of them, pressing on the foot control is not going to allow the machine to sew. They need to have the doors shut. So this is a good safety feature of this machine. With the doors open, you want to brush out lint in your machine wherever you find it, and lint is going to accumulate mainly because of the blade cutting off that scrap of fabric that happens when you're doing your serging. So we want to brush out the lint really good, raise your presser foot, take the presser foot off, and you can brush more. The presser foot goes on really easily. You just put it underneath the little clamp thing that's right there, put the pin right under there, lower your presser foot, and then give it a little push downwards there, and it snaps right on. Okay, you also want to change your needles fairly regularly, because when you're doing a lot of serging, your needles go through the fabric a lot of times, and they're going to get dull at the tip. So before you change your needles, put a piece of fabric under your needles like this, and that way when you unscrew the screws there, they're not going to drop down inside the machine. Now I'm going to move the looper out of the way. Notice I've already got the machine unthreaded. And then we're going to use our tweezers and the small screwdriver right there. Before I take them out, I want you to look carefully here. You can see the left-hand needle is a little bit higher than the right-hand needle. That's what it should be. It's because of the timing of the loopers as the stitch is being formed. So that is normal. Take these out like this. Unscrew the little set screws, and these are little tiny set screws, so you want to make sure that when you have a needle out, that you tighten those back down. Like if you're using just one needle, tighten the other set screw. And of course, loosen it once you put the needles back in. I'm going to put those for safekeeping in my scrap catcher box. Okay, so let's take this off of here. Now I'm going to get into the more thorough cleaning that you want to do on your machine. So you can take off this. Let me get my large screwdriver. You can take off the needle plate and clean around the feed dogs. That's always a good thing to do, because feed dogs tend to build up lint. They pull off little microscopic bits of thread. So you want to clean in there really good, and see, I can see more lint around the knives. Now the knives work like a pair of scissors. You've got your lower knife, which is a harder metal, and your upper knife, which is a slightly softer metal. So if you should need to put a new blade on, it would be the top blade. Now the top blade attaches right down here. That's what you have this wrench for. I would recommend, if you need to replace your blade, and you'll know that when you see the edge of your fabric after it's been cut, it looks a little bit rough, a little chewed. It means you need to replace that blade. I would recommend that you bring it here, have us go ahead and replace a blade. It needs to be adjusted up and down just right. It does say that in the book, and you can go ahead and certainly try that yourself, but may as well have us do it here. Also, regular maintenance on your machine as far as adjustment, especially if you use your serger a lot. I'd recommend any machine that you have, bring it in for service once a year. It's good to have it oiled, tuned, make sure everything's adjusted correctly, and we have a good service department here for all of your sewing machines. Okay, there's another little thing that I noticed on sergers. If you press this in this way, it's opens that area between the two blades, and you can get lint out that way. That's this little thing. It's on a spring. You get some of that other lint out of there like that. Now, with the AirThread Serger, you have these tubes here, and the thread flows through those tubes as the stitch is being formed. But as you're threading, you need to make sure that since the air threader, this is the air threader, you can hear that puff of air. You need to make sure that there's no lint and stuff in there. So I'm going to show you how to clean that. First of all, we put it into threading. Right here, there's a little picture like that. And I turned the hand wheel towards me, and see how it matched up right here? Now we can't turn that hand wheel. So take a piece of thread, and that's also mentioned here in the book. A piece of thread about a yard long is about right. In your accessory kit, you have this wire. It looks like a needle threader on one side, and on the other side is just pointy, right like that. Put your thread through the looped part, and what we're going to do is we're going to clean out the looper tubes. So I've got this here. I've got this set on the, that would be the lower looper right here. That's what that looks like. Okay. So I'm going to feed this down here. Now think drain snake. That's what we're doing. We're just feeding that along there like this. And you just got to go around all these. Okay, see right here? It's coming out right there. So grab a hold of that. You might need your tweezers to do that. That's all right. I'm going to feed it down a little bit more. There was a bend in that wire, and that's why it didn't want to quite come out right. See how I'm pulling that thread through there? And that double thread is pulling any lint or dust out of there. So you can do that the same way with the other one. I would recommend getting a new piece of thread if you're doing the other one. You want to do them both. And thread that through there, and it'll come out the upper looper, and you can pull that through. So that's how you clean that part. Now what about oiling? Because an oiler does come with your machine. That's this little guy right here. So on page 55, it talks about the various different places to oil. So I'm going to talk about that. And again, that's something that if you bring your machine in for regular maintenance, they can do all the oiling for you. But you have this chart. Let's go through it. Okay, so you only want to use about 1 drop of oil. You don't want to get too much oil. So there's this place right up here. And then you go down to the looper area. Right there, I'm going to use my screwdriver so you can see what I'm talking about. Basically, any metal to metal, wherever you see sliding happen, I'm going to get that out of. Anywhere you see metal to metal sliding. Okay, so right in there, right back here. There's a place down in here. And back here, now this is interesting. That's behind this bar right here. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look at it from where I'm sitting, right there, if you look at that really carefully, it looks like lint or something fuzzy like felt. It's called an oil wick. So if you put some oil right in there, it will help the oil to get to where it needs to be. Then also, so you notice this is slipping and sliding around, metal to metal contact. Make sure you put a little bit of oil in each of those places, wherever those show right there. Now, that's oiling your machine, but you definitely never want to put oil in your looper ports. This works with air, and air needs to have a smooth, clean puff of air to be able to go through, so you don't want to have anything moist in there. So no oil in these. That's why that sticker's right there. So that's your basic maintenance on your machine, and of course you can wipe it down if you need to, but one really important thing to care for your machine is when you're done serging, put your dust cover on your machine. Now, you can make your own cute little dust cover out of cloth, that's fine, but keep your machine covered up, because if you have it covered up, then no lint is going to form on the tops of your spools and get down into your threader ports. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. And we have lots of other videos here on our YouTube channel. So if this has been helpful and you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. And if you have comments or questions, you can put those in the area down below. So thanks for watching. Bye.